Hello girls, now we are going to discuss about some important topics in third lesson, magnetism and magnetic effects of electric current. First, let us see some introduction about magnetic effects of electric current. In 1820, Hans Christian Ørsted, while preparing for his lecture in physics, noticed that electric current passing through a wire deflects the nearby magnetic compass. By proper investigation, he observed that the deflection of magnetic compass is due to the change in magnetic field produced around the current carrying conductor. When the direction of current is reversed, the magnetic compass deflects in opposite direction. This led to the development of the theory of electromagnetism, which unifies the two branches in physics, namely electricity and magnetism. Next one is magnetic field around a straight current carrying conductor and a circular loop. When a magnetic compass is kept near the current carrying straight conductor, the magnetic needle deflects, which indicates that there exists a magnetic field. If we trace the direction shown by the magnetic needle, we can draw the magnetic field lines, which are concentric circles having their center at the axis of the conductor. It may be either clockwise or anticlockwise depending on the direction of the current in the conductor. If strength of the current is increased, then the density of the magnetic field will also increases. The strength of the magnetic field decreases as the distance from the conductor increases. Next one, magnetic field around a circular coil carrying current. If we keep a magnetic compass near the current carrying circular conductor, the magnetic needle deflects, which indicates the existence of magnetic field. Tracing the direction of the deflection, it shows the magnetic lines are circular near A and B and nearly parallel to each other near the center of the loop. Thus, the field present near the center of the coil is almost uniform. The strength of the magnetic field is increased if the current in the coil or the number of turns or both are increased. The polarity is such that the north pole or south pole depends on the direction of the current in the loop. Next one is right hand rule. If we hold the current carrying conductor in our right hand such that the thumb points in the direction of current flow, then the fingers encircling the wire points in the direction of magnetic field lines produced. Next one is Maxwell's right hand corkscrew rule. According to this rule, it is used to determine the direction of magnetic field. If we rotate a right-handed screw using a screwdriver, then the direction of current is same as the direction in which the screw advances, and the direction of rotation of the screw gives the direction of the magnetic field. Next one is the definition and the explanation of Biot-Savart law. This picture shows the magnetic field at a point P due to the current carrying conductor. This picture shows the direction of magnetic field using the right hand rule. According to Biot-Savart law, the magnitude of magnetic field dB vector at a point P at a distance r from the small element length dl of current carrying conductor varies as dB is directly proportional to I such that the current flowing through the conductor, and dB is directly proportional to dl such that the small element length, and dB is directly proportional to sin theta such that the sine of the angle theta, and dB is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between the small elemental length dl and the point P. By combining all these four relations, we can write a single relation as dB is directly proportional to I dl sin theta by r squared. By introducing a proportionality constant K, this equation becomes dB is equal to K into I dl sin theta by r squared. Here K is equal to mu naught by 4 pi. That the above equation becomes dB is equal to mu naught by 4 pi I dl sin theta by r squared. We can write the vector form of this equation as dB vector is equal to mu naught by 4 pi into I dl vector cross r cap divided by r square. Here dB vector is proportional to both I dl vector and r cap. From superposition principle, the total magnetic field due to the entire conductor can be written as B vector is equal to integral dB vector equal to mu naught I by 4 pi integral dl vector cross r cap divided by r square. Next one is the difference between Coulomb's law and Biot-Savart law. In Coulomb's law, electric field is calculated. In Biot-Savart law, magnetic field is calculated. In Coulomb's law, electric field is produced by a scalar source such that the charge q. In Biot-Savart law, the magnetic field lines are produced by a vector source such that the current element I dl vector. In Coulomb's law, electric field lines are directed along the position vector joining the source and the point at which the field is calculated. In Biot-Savart law, the magnetic field lines are directed perpendicular to the position vector and the current element. Coulomb's law does not depend on the angle, but the Biot-Savart law depends on the angle between I dl vector and r cap. Next one is the difference between the electric field and magnetic field. Here are the points which we have dealt in the previous section itself. According to electric field, it is produced by the scalar source such that the electric charge q, where the magnetic field is produced by a vector source such that the current element I dl vector. Electric field is directed along the position vector joining the source and the point at which the field is calculated, where magnetic field is directed perpendicular to the position vector r vector and the current element I dl vector. Electric field does not depend on the angle, where the magnetic field depends on the angle between the position vector r vector and the current element I dl vector. Thank you, girls.